if you come to Montmartre, I really encourage you to come to visit. You see, the place is very lovely, and it has got an inside garden where you can see. Hop là. Let me show that to you. Here it is. You see, there's a little garden inside. And so part of the visit is the museum, and part of the visit is the garden, also the vineyards. So lots of artists are living here. And one of these lady who was living here was named Suzanne Valandon. So here we speak about the year 30, 40, 50, okay? And Suzanne Valandon, she lived here and she had a son. That son is Marcel Outrillo. And Marcel Outrillo is going to become later on himself a painter, but later that, you know, at the end of the 1800. And he's going to paint a very, very famous painting, which is named La Maison Rose. So I'm going to try again to open my tablet to see if it's here, if it's better, because I'm a little bit in the shed, so maybe it will be better. Let me see if it can work a little bit better, because that painting is very, very famous. It's called the Pink House. So let me see if you can see it better. Okay, here it is. Okay, that painting. I hope you can, yes, you can see better here. You see that painting of Marcel Outrillo is going to be one of the most famous painting of him and painting in Montmartre. And you see the house here at the corner is pink. And we're going to see in a couple of seconds the same house nowadays, which has been renovated, and it is nowadays a restaurant. The painting I wanted to show before that I couldn't, let me just pass on the tablet to see if I can do that, was a painting from Corot, who was also living in the same place as Renoir, and who he painted, you see, Montmartre at the time of the 30, 40. And you can distinguish here a windmill, and we're going to go to see that windmill. But of course, you see the streets are not anymore like Corot painted them, because at that time, it was just a little village. I don't know if you know how many inhabitants were living in Montmartre at the time of these first person. So it means in the 20, 30, 40, 50, there were only 600 people which were living in Montmartre. So you see, it's like a little village, a very small village. And that is going to be completely gentrified by the 60s, when Napoleon III is going to decide to bring in Montmartre all the people which are the poor population of Paris, which were living in the center of Paris. And so due to that, Montmartre is going to get 40,000 people. Wow, you see, passing from 600 to 30,000. Oh, that's the Raps of the Medusa I wanted to speak before, in case you don't remember where that painting is. Sorry, the conditions outside are not fantastic, but at least you can have an idea. Outside the painting of Corot. That's a painting also I wanted to show you. It's about Degas, because Degas is going to be one of these first painters which arrived to Montmartre. And you see here, he was with the other painter in a café Place de Clichy named La Nouvelle Athènes. And he painted there a lot of people which were customer, guest of the cafe. And here it's one of his famous paintings, The Lady with the Absinthe, which is a very, very dangerous drink. And this is the house that we're going to see now, the Pink House. So let's go to see that. I just try to do that. Usually I don't use the pictures during my tour, but I just try to today to improve, but it's not very efficient. Sorry for that. So the Pink House, you see, again, I show it to you. If you can see that the painting of Outrillo, and you see that's the house nowadays. As you can see, it's a little bit bigger and much more gentrified than it was at that time. Because at that time, it was just a couple of houses, but the Pink House, you see, was already there. And nowadays, it's a restaurant, and it used to be also for a time a cabaret, but not for such a long time. So this house is funny because, as I said, it's the son, sorry, of one of the very famous painters, Suzanne Valandon, who became himself a painter and who painted this very famous house. This street that we go down now, it's also a very, very famous street in Montmartre. It's called the street de l'Abreuvoir. So it's a place where the cows or the horses can drink. And so at the end of the street, you had this place for the kind of pound for the horses and for the cows. And the street is named like that. And as you can see, it's very charming. And when we go down, when we will be arrive at the end of the street, you will see you've got a very nice view on the Basilica. So it's also one of the streets which has been the most painted by the artist in Montmartre.